video. We create new business models for mobile operators using mobile video, machine learning, and a whole new way of delivering advertising and content to consumers.
And what are you defending today?
Today, Colin has tasked me with streaming isn't enough, push video for better engagement. And I'll take you through just what that is. So,
and you are off.
Right, okay, so Colin's given me 5 minutes. If I just had 1 minute, this would probably be my slide, right? So why is push video better than streaming? We all care deeply, I hope, in this room about our user experiences. I know I do. I've spent many years building applications with video components, hundreds of thousands of dollars and months of effort. We don't want it to fall down at the last mile and get this sort of experience. And quite frankly, it's inevitable with streaming. You can't do much about it. Although there's ways of circumnavigating it. So let's just take a look at some of that. So bottom line, I think when a user presses play, you want stuff to happen and happen very quickly. You might have millennials amongst your audience members. I know I've had a lot of experience with those sorts of apps and they're very, very impatient. If you are having a delay of 500 milliseconds, that's half a second, and up to 5 seconds, that equals abandonment, quite frankly. So one click and all the work you've done to get them into your app or your service is gone and their attention goes elsewhere. So instant mobile playback, that's really the nirvana. So a lot of you guys might have had experience with cellular networks, but you might be aware they have their challenges when it comes to streaming delivery. You've got too much data squeezed into limited spectrum, aka Shannon's law for those of you who are into information theory. The caching point is always on the other side of the mobile network. So the most optimised CDN strategy in the world can't compensate for congestion on the base station. I heard one of the panellists talking before about 5G, and that's certainly on the roadmap, but I think it's many years before we have a critical mass. So what's push video? What's the answer to the streaming issue? Simply video that's preloaded on the phone. How do we get it there, right? That's important. We've got a set of predictive algorithms that pick the content from the CMS. We deliver it on Wi-Fi or off-peak cellular. So Wi-Fi or off-peak cellular is important. You don't want to burst through people's data caps. And then we use behavioural analytics to determine the best time to let people know their content is there. So does it make a difference? When the video's on the device already, you get instant start. It's always full HD. Never any stalling or buffering. You have a TV-like experience, and coverage doesn't matter, whether it's Wi-Fi or cellular. So let's just look at some data. So here's a streaming asset from one of our customer deployments. You'll see the engagement drops off immediately. In fact, there's quite a large percentage, about a quarter of the customers don't even get into the video asset in the first place. By the end, about 90% have dropped off. When the asset's actually been preloaded, number one, everyone has to see it start. There's no getting around it, and the drop-off looks very, very different. You'll see, because it's already on the device, that grey or white area is actually people skipping forward. And the dotted line at the bottom is people rewinding. You can do that when the video's there, and the completion rate is much, much better. So when people come into your service through a HD, high-quality experience, we find they stay longer as well. So compared to just normal streaming, just with every resolution, it's about 68% higher, but at least 600p and higher, you have 3.5 times longer duration inside your service. And actually, a high-quality upfront experience translates into longer streaming as well, so it's a gateway. They have a good experience up front, and then they tend to stick around, which is great for monetization. Timing's important too. So I mentioned that we've put the content into the app maybe at 2 o'clock in the morning using off-peak cellular or Wi-Fi. So you've got to let subscribers know, or let users know about it. So you can send them a text message, or with a push video notification, we found it's almost 3 times more engaging about letting them know when that content's there. But then if you pick the right time, rather than sending it just at an arbitrary time, say at 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, you let the algorithm decide when the best time is for each user to engage with that content. It's nearly 7 times the level of engagement of a standard text message. 45 seconds, I've got my last slide here, fantastic. So bring it all together. I understand streaming is important. I'm not saying that we need to replace it, right? You've got rights, the duration of that sort of content, live events are very important, but hybrid is a better approach. Use pre-positioning for engagement, like use it for the first 3 minutes of a show and then drop into a streaming format. I think it unlocks a lot of short form, ultra short form ad units. So you could literally have a 3 and a 6 second ad unit that work really well because if you've got instant start, they're less obtrusive, and I think you can have better completion. And a better upfront experience with push video leads to more time spent with your content, and they're more likely to come back, and that's a better result for your video service. Thank you.
Oh, perfect.
Well,